Hey friends, it's Laurie. Today I'm making some Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs, a rustic farmhouse candle tray, and a merry and bright holiday sign. I'm starting my rustic farmhouse candle tray holder by using one of the metal vases with rope from the Dollar Tree. It measures 5.5 inches tall, and I'm also using one of their pie pans. I'm going to be painting them with chalk paint, and I'm making my own. Everyone makes theirs a little bit different. I'm using about 2.5 tablespoons of black acrylic paint and about a tablespoon of baking soda. When I was done, I gave it a good mixing. You will need to make a couple of batches for this project. I'm giving my pie pan a coat of chalk paint on the top, and then once it dries, I'm going to turn it over and I'll give it a coat on the bottom. I'm making my candle tray holder in black, but I think this would look pretty in just about any color. Before I paint the metal vase, I'm going to use some painter's tape to protect the rope. Now, I'm a messy painter, but if you're a neat painter, you can just completely skip this step. Once I have it covered, I'm going to give it a coat of my black chalk paint, and you'll need to give each of these pieces 2 coats for full coverage. Now that it's dry, I'm going to remove the painter's tape, and on the bottom there's a little lip of silver, so I'm just going to hit that quickly with my chalk paint. Now that both of my pieces are dry, I'm going to give them a coat of clear acrylic, but if you don't have any of this on hand, you can also use some Mod Podge. Now that they are dry and the finish is protected, I'm going to attach them together using my E6000. I added a generous amount on the top edge and then placed my pie pan on top, making sure it was centered. I let them set up overnight, and now I'm going to be adding on a bow accent using some of this Dollar Tree buffalo check ribbon. I cut a strip of the ribbon, I wrapped it around the base, and then I tied it into a simple bow. When I was done, I then used my scissors to cut the tails just a little bit shorter. I'm going to add an accent to my base, and you can add anything you'd like. I've had these 4 tin stars since I can remember, and they've definitely seen better days, so I'm going to give them each a coat with my silver hammered spray paint. Now that they're dry, I'm going to attach each of them evenly spaced around the rope base using my glue gun. To finish up my rustic farmhouse candle tray, I used some of the greenery from the Dollar Tree along with their silver and red bells and one of the Dollar Tree's white LED candles. And with that, my festive candle holder is ready for the holidays. My video today is part of a Christmas collab called Santa's Travel Around the World. It's being hosted by my dear friends Janny and Dyanne from DECO Easy, and they have an amazing channel. I'll have the playlist linked below in my description so you can check out all these talented women and get some holiday ideas and inspiration. If you're new to my channel and you're enjoying my video, please consider clicking that little red subscribe button below and leaving me a big thumbs up. For my next project, I'm using one of the Dollar Tree pizza pans. This time I'm making white chalk paint using my baking soda and white acrylic paint, and once again I'm using about 2.5 tablespoons of white paint to a tablespoon of baking soda. When I'm done and before I paint my pan, I'm removing the label and I'm going to hang on to this because I'll be using it later in the video. I'm painting the pan with my white chalk paint, but this time I'm only painting the top of the pan. When it's dry, I'm giving it a coat of Mod Podge just to help seal on the paint. For the backing on my sign, I'm using a piece of holiday scrapbooking paper, and mine is two-sided, and I absolutely love the retro ornament side, so I'm going to be using that one. To cut the backing for my pan, I'm taking the insert and I'm placing it on the bottom of the wrong side of my paper. When I have it in place, I'm now taking my pencil and I'm tracing around it. I'm then turning my paper around and matching my label to the sides of my first label, so when I'm done tracing it on, I'll have a complete circle. When I'm done, it's a little difficult to see, but I have a pencil circle and I'm going to cut it out with my scissors. To attach it to my pie plate, I'm once again giving it a coat of Mod Podge, and then I'm just placing my paper in the center. For my hanger, I cut a piece of the Dollar Tree nautical rope and I hot glued it onto the back. To add my Dollar Tree Merry and Bright Christmas sign, I'm going to paint it with the classic Christmas colors of red, white, and green. To raise my sign just a bit off of its base, I'm using 6 of the mini wooden squares from the Dollar Tree. And if you don't have any of these on hand, you can always cut up some of the tumbling tower blocks. I'm giving all 6 of mine a coat of white paint so that they'll blend into the background. Once they're dry, I turned my sign over and I found their placement on the back, and then I hot glued them into place. Now that I'm done, I'm adding some hot glue onto the back of the blocks and placing it on the base. To decorate the top of my sign, I'm using 2 picks from the Dollar Tree and I'm removing everything but the greenery. In addition to the greenery, I'm also using 2 of the pine cones. I bent the 2 wired ends over into an arch, and then I hot glued them to the top of my sign. Once I have them both attached in place, I'm now going to add on an accent bow, and I'm using some of this pretty holiday polka dot ribbon that I had on hand from Michael's, but the Dollar Tree has a ton of really pretty holiday ribbon. I'm giving myself about a 6-inch tail, and then I'm making a simple bow by just tying 2 loops together. I cut the tails to match, and then I took about a 3-inch piece of ribbon. I folded the sides in, I wrapped it around the center of my bow, and then hot glued it into place. With my ribbon complete, I then dovetailed both of the ends, which is super easy. You just fold the ribbon in half and cut away at an angle. And now, using my glue gun, I attached it in between the 2 pieces of greenery. I'm now adding the pine cones from the picks to my sign, and I'm attaching 1 on each side. With my pine cones both in place, I'm adding on a piece of greenery from the picks to the center of my bow. To finish up, I'm adding on one of the small Dollar Tree tinsel ornaments, and the little hanger pops right off, and then I'm hot gluing it to the center of my bow. And now that I'm done, my Merry and Bright holiday sign is ready to hang. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoyed making these Christmas DIYs. If you're new to my channel and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to come back and hang out with her again, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below. Tap on that notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody!